Good evening and welcome to another episode of Late Night with Lenette. This is going to be a different show tonight. There's no guest, there's no political talking whatsoever. I'm not wearing my trademark jacket. Like I said, this is a special edition. If you like to ride a bicycle, or even if you like watching people ride a bicycle, whatever, this is a show for you. My husband, oldest daughter, and myself took part in the 27th running of the Greater Ohio Bicycle Adventure, otherwise known as GOBA. This was my daughter's first GOBA, and my husband and I have ridden in GOBA. This was our third GOBA. And this takes place in Ohio every year. Like I said, started 27 years ago. No matter what type of cycling you do, though, notice my helmet. You should always wear a helmet, no matter if it's mountain biking, leisurely rides around the neighborhood. You don't want to ride without a helmet. I always tell people, if you don't wear a helmet when you ride, you could spend the rest of your life wearing a helmet and a diaper. Head injuries are serious, and that's nothing to mess with. Always wear your helmet. So here's the route for the 27th running of GOBA. There we go. Okay, if you look down in the far left-hand corner, there's a town called Van Wert with a big star. We started and finished in Van Wert. Now, GOBA, there was around 2,000 cyclists with this event, and at different times in the morning, you rode from Van Wert over to Bluffton. We spent the night in Bluffton at a community college. We took over their ball fields. We had our tents all set up around the ball fields. GOBAville was set up there, and they even had shuttle buses to take us into town. This is a big event in Ohio. We stop in little towns, and these towns look forward to having GOBA coming through. It's a huge fundraiser for these towns. From Bluffton, we had a long ride. It was a 60-mile ride up in the northwest to Defiance. We spent 2 nights in Defiance. And whenever there's a 2-night stay, the second day you're there is an optional day. You can ride or you don't have to ride. You can see how the loop comes right back into Defiance. My husband and I went for a leisurely ride that day. We didn't do the whole course. I think we did a 30-mile ride that day. Our older daughter had a pretty rough ride the day before with the 60-mile jaunt, so she opted out. After our 2 days in Defiance, we rode out to Bowling Green. Again, had a 2-day stay. You can tell by the loop heading out and coming right back. Now this one, you have all different options. There was about a 25-mile ride, a 58-mile ride, or a century ride. You could do 100 miles. Unfortunately, it was a rainy, nasty day. My husband and I opted for the 58-mile ride, and our daughter took the day off. From Bowling Green, we cycled down to Ottawa, which was great. The wind was now at our back. It had been in our face for a couple days, so it was nice to head south and get the strong headwind. Everyone's a hero with a headwind. So then we head into Ottawa, spend 1 night in Ottawa, and unfortunately this year, torrential downpours poured in on Friday, continuing all day Saturday. So 9/10 of the GOBA riders opted out of riding that last day. Fortunately for my daughter and I, my husband found someone about 4:30 in the morning, Saturday morning, got a ride into Van Wert to pick up our truck, came back out so we could break down camp. So that's our route for this year. Every year, GOBA is in a different section of Ohio. Every year, the course changes as well. One year it's flat, the next year it's hilly. This was an extremely flat year. My daughter really appreciated the flat. She just started cycling in April and was not interested in doing hills. My husband and I rode the hill course last year, and I was surprised at how many hills they found in I believe we were in the southeastern side, close to the Amish section of Ohio, and they had some pretty decent hills out there. So with GOBA, this is the big sign that we're greeted by, GOBAville. We have a village set up with thousands of tents. Most people sleep in a tent. Some people pay a few extra bucks and they sleep on the gymnasium floor or in the school cafeteria. We usually stay in elementary schools, high schools, or even colleges, and we just take over the campus. You can see they've had 3, they call them mayors of GOBAville. These are the 3 people who have been in charge of GOBA since its start. We were in a new mayor this year. This is his first GOBA, and it was a great time. It was a huge success. We are Ohio's largest moving village. Now, this is what you're greeted with when you come back from your bike ride. You know, you ride at least 50 miles, you pull into the school parking lot, and you're greeted by these moving vans and a mountain of luggage. Each person is giving these colored straps to put on your luggage. We were the yellow truck, so the huge line of luggage in front of you, we had our bags in there somewhere. And so I always make sure I get a piece of material that really stands out so we can wrap it around the handles of all our luggage so they're a little easier to spot. Like with all the luggage, no matter what you put on your bag, it's going to take a while to find your bag. Everyone's is entitled to bring 2 bags. We bring the 2 biggest bags per person we can find. So we have 3 big hockey bags, and we go in comfort and style. Some people don't, we do. This is where we're setting up our camp. As you can see, we have a nice tarp. Ohio is not known for a lot of shade trees. We create our own shade. That little green tent to the left is where our daughter stayed. It's my husband and I bought that tent back in 1985, and unfortunately we left it in Ohio. The bottom zipper broke on the tent, and my poor daughter was infested with ants one night, and then with the torrential rains, she had a sopping wet tent Saturday morning. So that tent has met its demise. But that is the start. That's our little section of GOBAville. We had 4 tents, and here's a small section. This is one common area, and you can see all the tents. There's no tarps. All the tents that are set up. Everyone just sets up their tent. And again, I say we go in style and comfort. We have a tarp. We bring captain's chairs. My husband and I sleep on a queen-size airbed. We figure if someone else is going to carry the luggage, go in style, go in comfort. Some people bring their little backpacking tents and almost nothing. They have no shade, no chairs. I'm not backpacking on this trip, so I'm going in comfort. And along the way, these cycling shops follow us from day 1 until Friday, the next to the last day. Cyclists can buy cycling clothing, gear. You can buy the Noon tablets to put in your water. You can buy blocks, the energy blocks to chew on while you're riding for a little extra boost. You can buy the goo packets. They sell anything and everything. If you want a horn for your bike or a bell, you can stick that on. And some of the prices are really decent. They put everything on sale. I've had some pretty good purchases there. My daughter bought my husband a Father's Day gift this year there because we start GOBA on Father's Day. And if you break down, they also have cycling shops following us that will repair your bike. One year I had to have a tire replaced. They can do anything from repair your chain, give you new tires, wheels. I've seen people have new pedals put on. One person was using the clipless, where you have to actually clip in your pedals. Didn't like it, had her pedals changed back to the regular standard style of pedal, just by going to this little shop that is set up in GOBAville. The guys are great, and a lot of them, here's one of the shops. Every morning, when you're going on long rides like that, you should always check the tire pressure in your bike before going on a ride. And every morning, they have their pumps out, and we go by and check the air in our tires. That's how we found out that I needed a new tire our first year in GOBA. And they have the stands. They just hook your bike up on it, elevate your bike, and they can do a full tune-up, anything else you need on your bike. These shops follow us the whole week. We'd be lost without them. My daughter had here's another shop. My daughter had a flat tire, and we always have spares with us, but we were able to purchase an extra spare since we used one on the ride. And one of our buddies in our group had 3 flat tires his first day. So he definitely took advantage and bought more inner tubes. They have these people called SAGs, S-A-G. I don't know what it stands for, but these people drive along the whole course just to help out riders. If you have a breakdown and you can't fix your own bike, they fix it for you or help you fix it. Or if you've been riding and you get hurt, or it's just been too long of a day, you can't make it, they'll take you back to Gobaville. Now everyone's allowed 2 free SAGs, especially the hilly years. People take advantage of the SAGs, and they'll flag down a SAG driver. You can get 2 free SAGs. Your third SAG, the SAG takes you directly to where your car is parked back in the starting village, and you're done with GOBA for the year. Fortunately, no one in our group has ever had to call for a SAG. We might limp in, but we do finish the ride. And here's where this is the main tent. This is where the Gobaville sign is set up. That's my husband in the blue right there, checking the weather report. They'll also have the activities that are going on in town listed there. They'll have brochures for the town. The towns, like I said, use this as a fundraiser. They have shuttle buses set up for us. There's always entertainment in the towns. One town had a polka band. That was cool. One school, they had their marching band and their whole cheerleading squad, all the cheerleaders for every season, put on a big pep rally for us. Another group, one town had a band that sounded very much like CCR, Creedence Clearwater Revival, played a lot of their songs, as well as a lot of songs from the 60s and 70s. That was a fun time. And these towns, all the restaurants, everyone gears up for GOBA, because some of the towns we stop in, we almost double the town population. So if they're not, these little sleepy towns aren't used to 2,000 visitors riding in a day. They have to have extra wait staff. They have to order extra food. We've been in some places, the restaurants have actually run out of food. Our first GOBA, we went to a Chinese restaurant, and the poor owner ran out of almost everything. It was pretty hysterical what we ended up with for dinner. Just little samples of this. You'd think it was our own personal buffet. But yet the schools. Oh, this was our first ride. This was the morning of my daughter's first GOBA. Cycling shirts are usually always pretty colorful, and some are animated. I'm wearing the newest GOBA shirt tonight on the show. My sister got that awesome Ireland shirt for me on one of her trips. My daughter has believe that's a flat tire, a Belgian ale or something. I don't drink it, so I don't know what it is. And my husband just has a red cycling shirt. But you see some really cool cycling shirts. One of our buddies on GOBA, it was really entertaining with his shirts. So this was our first morning of GOBA. It was an exciting time for my daughter. Now, this is my buddy Pat O'Brien from Arlington, Virginia. Him and his dad, that's his dad on the left. Pop is going to be 80 years old next month, and they were doing GOBA together. So Pat ordered matching shirts for him and his dad for the whole week. This was their Rosie Riveter shirts. It was pretty cool. Unfortunately for Pop, Sunday he had an awesome ride. We did 53 miles on Sunday, and he had no problem. Monday was a very hot, humid day, and we had a 60-mile ride. And unfortunately, that did Pop in. Tuesday was an off day, and Pat's sister was there riding with us also, Kathy. Kathy lives in Delaware. Pop lives right there in Bucyrus, Ohio. they went on a small ride, and it was just too much. Pop called it in and went home Tuesday evening. But I tell you what, he gets my Medal of Honor, riding 60 miles in the stinking heat and sun of Ohio. That man is a hero. You don't get a lot of shade riding in the streets of Ohio. It's pancake flat, and you see some trees in the background there, but out on the roads, you have cornfields, soybean fields, and wheat fields. Not a whole lot of trees. But yeah, like I said, cycling shirts are colorful. My daughter was very excited this day. This was on Wednesday. Had an awesome ride on Sunday. Monday, long, hard ride. My daughter really struggled on Monday. Tuesday, she took the day off. She needed a break and needed a rest. She was really hurting from Monday. This was Wednesday, had an amazing ride. And at one point, she was actually doing the pull. Now, when someone says you're doing the pull, she was riding in front of my husband and she was pulling us along. She was breaking the draft for us. She was pulling us at 18, 19 miles per hour for a good mile to 2 mile. Later in the week, she was doing an awesome pull when the wind was at our back. She was riding about 20 to 23 miles per hour with a strong tailwind, and she did that for like 3 to 4 miles. So she had a great GOBA. She's styling her fancy new glasses from REI. REI was in GOBAville the first day, and you got to make your own sunglasses. So Sheila made sure she rode with her REI personal designed sunglasses by Sheila. And along the way in GOBA, they always, like I said, the towns have special events for us. So a lot of them will open different museums for the GOBA riders. Now, you may think, well, the museums are open anyway. Well, why are they opening it special for GOBA? Well, in this picture, we're at it was like a taxidermy museum. This guy was a huge hunter, traveled the world hunting, and had a museum of all his animals. Well, we were there at 7:30 in the morning. A lot of us start riding as early as we can to avoid the heat of the day. So these museums will open like 6 o'clock in the morning for GOBA riders. We were demonstrating our GOBA power and trying to show those bears that they had nothing on us. You can see my husband wearing a plaid shirt that's actually a cycling shirt to look like a flannel shirt. My daughter gave him that for Father's Day. And in the back pocket, you can't see it, but there's supposedly a beer bottle. It's in the material. It's not really a bottle in his pocket. But yeah, I guess it's the redneck cycling shirt. He got some interesting comments along the ride that day. Now here's good old Pat again. Like I said, cycling shirts are always colorful. If Pop had been riding, they would be wearing their tuxedo shirts. And you can see GOBAville is just setting up behind us. We had an amazing ride. That was Wednesday. That was our first day in Bowling Green. And we started out early in the morning. It was a nice, cooler day, even though it's sunny. Sheila had an awesome ride. And like I said, she was pulling my husband and I. We finished our ride just after 11 o'clock in the morning. And we started about 6:30. 6:30. That's even stopping at the museum. And along the way, they'll have 4 stops. Well, 3 stops, and then you have a morning snack, and that's usually where we have breakfast. You'll hit your morning snack, usually 10 to 15 miles into your ride. And then about halfway, they try to have a lunch stop. And then 3/4 of the way, they'll have an afternoon snack. And these snack times in, breakfast or lunch, whatever you want to call it, we get to our morning snack time, 6:30, 7 o'clock. And my favorite breakfast on GOBA is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You won't get too much more protein than from peanut butter. And so I have a nice peanut butter and jelly sandwich and a banana. It's really cool if they have chocolate milk. That's an awesome drink for after you're exercising or during your exercising. Chocolate milk is loaded with protein as long as you get something that doesn't have high fructose corn syrup. That ruins the chocolate milk. But that's what we do for our stops. Here's one of the local towns. This was in Defiance. These kids belonged, they were there from the elementary school, and they had a booth. They were selling bottles of water and bottles of soda for $1. So we were talking to them for quite a while, and they were very happy to be decorated with my husband's dollar bills. We came by later to talk to the kids, and like I said, these towns just go all out for the GOBA riders. We get all sorts of specials in coffee shops and restaurants. Vendors will set up their trucks. You burn a lot of calories. You're doing a lot of riding, and you burn. One lady in our group wore one of those Fitbits or something, and she was burning 3,000 calories a day. We ride a lot, but we also eat very well on GOBA. I don't know of too many people who lose weight on GOBA. Here's a polka band. We heard this band in Defiance. The mom is playing the keyboard, and her son is the accordion player. I guess the mom and dad were famous in Ohio with their polka band. And in Defiance, when the son introduced the mom and talked about their group, people in the stands actually remembered the mom's band. You could tell she was so happy. She had this big smile, and she actually recognized a few people in the seats from doing their weddings and anniversary parties. But this is some of the entertainment that goes on from town to town throughout the week in Ohio. This was a free, the concerts are always free. They just try to keep you in the downtown area and hope that you'll go to the different shops or restaurants. And it really gives a big boost to these little towns in Ohio. This was another school. This one's in Bowling Green. This is the pep rally they put on for us. There's the marching band in the back, and these were some of the cheerleaders. They were cycling in and out, but it was so cool. They did a high school pep rally for GOBA. They had special cheers for the GOBA riders. The band played, oh my word, all sorts of songs. And then after the pep rally, they had just like a high school dance for the GOBA riders. My daughter took part in that. My husband and I did the chicken song. Everyone did the chicken song. But after that, we quietly snuck out the door. Some of those songs we weren't interested in, but my daughter had fun at the dance. And the last stop we were in was in Ottawa, and that happens to be in Putnam County. And we had the thrill of going to the Putnam County Fair. We were given a half-price admission. It was only $3 to go to the fair, and it was the typical 4-H type of fair that you'd see here, like the Hillsborough County Fair. Not as big as the Deerfield Fair, but we went to the different livestock barns and saw the cows and the chickens and all this, and of course we ate our way around the fair. Here we are sampling the candy apples. I had a caramel apple. Kathy in the middle, who's from Delaware, she had candy apple, and my daughter Sheila had a peanut butter dipped apple. And the lady in the back, she's running the candy apple booth. She wanted in that. We were talking with her for quite a while, so we had her come in the picture with us as well. Like I said, these vendors are all excited when GOBA comes into town. And even this county fair, I mean, they had all sorts of special deals for the GOBA riders at the county fair, just hoping that a bunch of the riders would take advantage of going to the fair. I mean, I don't know, I've never been in Putnam County, probably never will again. And this was in Ottawa, Ohio. It was pretty cool. We had a fun time. This lady, she was probably my favorite person I've ever met on GOBA. We were in, where did we meet her? We met her in Bowling Green. This is Wilma. We had a nice lunch and had spent time walking around the downtown, and we were looking for a coffee shop. And I saw her coming out of the senior center, asked her if she knew of a coffee shop. I said, I want good coffee. She spent probably 3 hours with us, took us to the coffee shop, then took us to, we're at a farmer's market there. I know her whole life story. She just walked us around the town, telling us all about Bowling Green, why she lived there. This poor lady is the only person left in her family. All her relatives are dead. But we enjoyed yakking with Wilma. So at the end of our stay with her, she reminded me of one of my great aunts that passed away a couple years ago. So at the farmer's market, I bought her some flowers, like I would always do for my aunt. And Wilma went on her way after giving us a tour and talking to us in Bowling Green. She was a neat lady. Here's a repair on the side of the road. Sheila got a flat tire. So my husband and our friend Pat, changed Sheila's tire, and Sheila's there learning how to change a tire, having never changed one before. Now we were fortunate. All of our bikes have patch kits for changing tires. We have CO2 cartridges. We all have little bike pumps as well, because you want to make sure you have a CO2 cartridge and a bike pump. Not everyone carries that, so unfortunately some people have to wait for a SAG to come by. We're fortunate. We can just get the tire changed, and it takes less than 5 minutes to change a bike tire for my husband and Pat. I'm a little slower, and Sheila would be lost. She'd be on her cell phone calling one of us. But it was a great ride, and this is the best part of the ride. This is my friend Seth. I met him my first GOBA. I have really bad knees, and I have a hard time stretching my quads without pulling a muscle. So my first GOBA, they have a massage tent, and my husband said, hey, why don't you get a massage for your legs? Oh my word, I met Seth, and he gives the best massages. My legs felt great the next day. So every other day that first GOBA, I went and had a massage. So first day home, as soon as I had some change, I threw it in my bank, and for the next year, I saved all my change, and I call it my Seth Fund. And I've done that every GOBA since. And I cash in my bank just before GOBA, and that's the money I have for my massages. Hilly years, I was in there almost every day. Like I said, we had some huge hills, and cycling really does a number on my quads. My knees are just too bad, and I can't stretch my quads like most people do. So I spend a lot of time in the tent. Now this is after Sheila's very tough ride on Monday. Yeah, she went in and got a massage from Seth, had the day off on Tuesday, and she was good to go on Wednesday. If you go to GOBA, bring money for massages. And like I said, we eat good on GOBA. My husband is devouring a 1-pound cheeseburger. Not a quarter pounder like you find at McDonald's or Burger King. That's a full pound burger. And yes, that did fit in his mouth, and he did eat the whole thing. We do eat well. My daughter and 2 of her college buddies, they all were given these commemorative coins for graduating from Defiance. Defiance had a little scavenger hunt that they put on. And if you completed the scavenger hunt, you graduated and you got this coin. The theme this year was something about GOBA urology. It was a school-based theme. So they were graduates and got their commemorative coins. That's Catherine and Steve from Maine. And at the county fair, a bucket list item, my daughter and I went on a helicopter ride, and our friend Kathy from Delaware. We got to go for a helicopter ride. That's the state fairgrounds out in front of you, the Putnam County Fair. That was huge fun. Bucket list item for sure. I had never been on a helicopter before. So that was GOBA. It's a week-long bicycle adventure through Ohio. One year it's flat, the next year it's hilly, and the whole week won't be hilly. We had, I think, 2.5, 3 days of hills, and then the rest of the week you're back in the flats. Ohio just doesn't have that many hills. This is the shirt, the latest GOBA shirt. This was the shirt for this year. Every year they have a shirt, cycling shirt. They have a T-shirt. It's such a fun time. If you're a cyclist, or if you think you'd be interested in doing a cycling tour, this is the one to do. It's family oriented. I didn't get a lot of the pictures of the bikes. You'll see quad bikes. There'll be 4 riders. You'll see triple bikes. You'll see bikes with the little attachments that the kids are riding. There'll be little buggies being pulled by the parents. All walks and sizes go on the flat ride. All ages. We met a grandfather who does this every year with his granddaughter. They started out when she was in a little buggy, and now they ride a tandem together, and the granddaughter's 24. So they've done almost every GOBA together. This is their time together. So I hope you enjoyed this show and the cycling adventure and the tour through Ohio. Join me next week on Late Night with Lenette. We'll get back to our usual routine. I'll have a guest, and of course we'll have our Maggie moment. She's given me plenty of fodder these past few weeks I could do a whole show on her, but we won't go there. Anyhow, good night and God bless.